Thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian passport is ranked amongst the world's weakest. As of March 2024, ranked 98th in the world. At different times, Nigerians have reported how harshly they were treated by immigration officials when visiting other countries. They often complain of being subjected to criminal scrutiny at the airports as opposed to how other counterparts are treated. Joining us now to shed more light on her own experience is the head of business development for Giddy Traffic, Bethea Idoko, in the building. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know you had an experience recently. Tell us about that. Tell us about the experience.
Okay, so it was with Turkish Airlines.
Tell me about it.
It's a situation I'd like to call deceptive advertising. You know, you want to buy a ticket, you're checking, and then you find one, and a pop-up comes, oh, like, don't worry about the layover. We'll take care of it. We'll give you a hotel, or we'll give you a tour package, you know, and it's not explicitly clear anywhere that, yes, we will do this, but you have to get a visa from your own country before you come to enjoy the layover that sometimes is like 21 hours, you know. Now, prior to now, if you had a UK, Schengen, or US visa, which I call the Holy Trinity from a friend of mine, you know, you can go ahead and then you get a visa on arrival at the airport and you can go in, do your how many hours or 1 day or 2 days, and then, you know, go about your business. However, this law was changed, I think maybe 2022. And I was aware of this. But buying the ticket, all you see that pops up is you could be eligible for a stopover program. Check if your country is eligible. And I checked and I saw Nigeria. So for me, I thought that was it, like, it's fine, Nigeria is eligible, you know. But then on getting to the airport, I was told, yes, you are eligible. However, you should have gotten the visa from your country. Now I'm thinking to myself, makes no sense at all. That visa is around $320, and it takes about 2 weeks to process. So I would go and get a visa for $320, wait around 2-3 weeks for it to process because I want to enjoy a layover. So there's no way it would have made sense, you know, to me at all. But I mean, I was already there. And then the whole, much more than even the situation of, okay, now you can't go out, you can't come in, the treatment of the staff. Turkish Airlines.
I don't want you to mention the name Turkish Airlines because I get in trouble for that.
Oh, okay.
Let's try really hard to leave the brand out of it because many of us go through different experiences in multiple airlines.
True,
so
very true.
Not just their own, but go ahead. Let's hear your experience.
You know, so I mean, the staff are quite condescending and very dismissive in their attitude, you know, as to how they treat Nigerians because you were there. But you can see other people come in and they're very well attended to, you know, but when it's you, they barely look you in the eyes. You give them your boarding pass. They put it right back on the table when they're done. They can't even hand it to you properly. You know, that kind of treatment. So it made me feel really, really bad. And in fact, I didn't plan to, but I just started to cry. And because of that, I said, you know what, I'm not going to be quiet about this. This has been going on for a long time. You hear stories from people here and there, but, you know, personally...
Yeah, there are several complaints about...
Yes.
But I just feel, is it something we as citizens supposed to take up? Or is it something that it's like maybe the foreign minister, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs should be the one relating with these people? Because why would... If you disrespect me, my nation would show you why you should not disrespect me.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering, in what format can the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
I think I followed your live at the time, your videos. So what did the ministry do? You were talking about them intervening.
Yeah, very sadly, the Ministry for Foreign Affairs did absolutely nothing that I'm aware of. Okay. And it's not like I did not reach out to them. Okay. I reached out to them in several emails. In fact, I even reached out to one of the SAs for the Minister for Foreign Affairs, had a conversation with him. He says, okay, I'll send you my own email, send it to me. Till today, voicemail. I heard nothing. They did nothing that I'm aware of. However, the NCAA now, which is the aviation arm, you know, they flew me into Abuja. They were very concerned. What happened? They summoned Turkish Airline to find out. They summoned the airline to find out what happened. You know, so they did something that made me feel, you know, good and made me feel like it's not like exactly my country cares. However, this problem borders between aviation and diplomacy.
Yes, definitely.
So, exactly. So while the aviation part was being covered and they were doing their best, it was impossible to get a completion, you know, on that case.
Diplomacy.
Because, yeah, the diplomacy people, which is the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, they were completely mute. Not a word till today.
You know, I mean, sometimes I know that airlines can be very, very tough. But also, some country borders are equally as bad, where I think somebody was talking about how they were treated in Maldives, how they were treated in different parts of the world, where they go in, and once they know that you're Nigerian, they put you on one side, they scrutinize you, and then assume that you have some kind of drugs on you.
I get it.
So now, the question is, what do you think about the fact that, do you think Nigerians too are part of this problem in the sense of how we demarket Nigeria when we travel abroad? Because really and truly, what we see about ourselves on social media also forms part of how they see us, don't you think?
Yeah, so this is what I'm going to say to this. Yes, on our own part, I think we can do a much better job in how we market ourselves. And yeah, that one is there. But then at the same time, I mean, there are bad people all over the world.
Exactly.
It's not a Nigerian thing to have bad people.
Exactly.
All the big countries, the US, name it, there are bad people, there are people with insecurity issues as well, just like we have, you know, and as such, I would say, can you take people as they are until proven otherwise?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, take me as a person first.
Right.
If I misbehave or I do something that I'm not supposed to, then you say, yes, the Nigerian has come. As opposed to just canceling me and profiling me the moment I step up and I have a Nigerian passport. So for someone like me, I've been around quite a lot. I've been to 70 countries. So what I started doing later on, even though that happened by accident, it wasn't what I knew or anyone advised me for. So I have, most of my passports never really expire before I get a new one. It's just that the pages will be out. So I have to apply for a new one. So because of that, I had a stack. And one time I had an active visa in an old passport, but then it was, pages were full, so I got a new one. So because of that, you have to travel with both of them, or three of them, as the case may be. And then I found that at the border control, I didn't get those very demeaning and sometimes really annoying questions. Instead, what I was getting was, oh, wow, you travel quite a lot. Oh,
you're able to show that.
So it became like a conversation starter for me and immigrations. And I'm like, is this the thing? And I didn't know. So right now, as tacky as some people think it is, I have 5 passports I travel with. I have a rubber band connecting all of them.
Oh my God.
So it's just like a statement when I get in front of immigration and I put it there. So first off, you know that, okay, this is not a newbie. And then they get so interested, they start flipping through the pages and it's like, oh, okay. But those who vocalize, oh, wow. For others, you can just see it like, oh, okay. Then they don't ask you that many questions. They just stamp your passport, oh, enjoy your vacation, and then that's it.
Imagine that.
But how many people want to do that? You know, how many people want to?
I also think, oh, sorry.
Yeah. So, you know, I've heard this complaint you've made, we've heard it many times, and usually you're right, it then stops on social media. We don't see it, you know, materialize into anything. Or sometimes what I hear also it will be, by the time the airline comes to make a statement, it will put the blame on the Nigerian.
Oh, of course.
So what would you like to see? What would you like to hear from the Foreign Affairs Ministry?
What I'd like to see first off is a little more involvement with us and some engagement. There's too much of a disconnect. It's like they're high up there. They don't send us, you know, it's almost like they're unreachable. We were just there, the children, without a mother or a father, and anybody can just beat you and move on, knowing fully well that nothing will happen or nothing will come out of it. You know, but if there's a little more mediation that we are aware of, because there's quite a bit of a good travel community in Nigeria.
Oh, of course.
So I don't think we should be ignored like that. At least ask us, tell us what happened. And if this foreign airlines or officials, border control, see that our government is up and you can't just get away with treating us anyhow, then that will check their activities in treating us a little more decent, with respect. For instance, the question I kept asking is, what exactly was the reason that they stopped letting the Trinity visa holders now, the UK, US, and Schengen visas, why did you stop them from getting e-visas or getting visa on arrival in your country? Like, because you can't tell me that we were running away. That you are going to have to really explain that, because if I have a UK, I have a US, or I have a Schengen, that country is not where I want to run to. I already have countries that are more palatable for me to want to run to. So what exactly was the reason? And did any organization in Nigeria say, no, come, let's talk. This thing you want to do, we're not quite clear on it. Can we negotiate? What exactly is the problem? But it's like these countries just say, get out, and then that's it. We get out, no one does anything. Yeah. You can imagine Seychelles, an African country we've been going to for years for free. When I went, I didn't get a visa. I didn't need one. I got to the airport there. In fact, they even gave me free SIM card with credit on it, welcomed me really nicely. Now, Nigerians can't go to Seychelles again.
Why?
At all.
I think they said they had issues with some Nigerians that went to Seychelles. And then again, I keep saying, look, let's just be objective here. We are over 220 million people. If only 1 million people, in fact, if only 500,000 people are committing crime abroad, you cannot now cancel the rest of us.
But Seychelles is also trying to protect its shores. A really small country, and they're like, listen, I don't need extra. I'm trying not to blame the countries, but at the same time, also understand
there's
that
always a
let's
reason.
not forget that this started with the airline. This particular airline in question. I have had to do litigation against some airlines. Okay. I think I've experienced that when you take it up, you finally get results.
Yes, true.
In all of those cases, we were paid compensation.
Oh, nice.
So what are you doing about this airline, particularly, just to test it, maybe just for what we call academic exercise, just test it to see. Are you willing to do that?
Well, first, I'm more than willing. But first off, to be honest, I was completely surprised that anyone listened, which is the NCAA now. Like, I was shocked. Now, I reached out to Honorable Bethea Idoko as well. And, I got a response, but it ended at a response. Oh, we're working on it. We're doing something about it. Send us an official email. I sent the official email, and the same response I got on Instagram was copied and posted to me in the email. And till date, nothing happened about it. The Foreign Affairs Ministry, I almost got tired because that case, and that's another thing I didn't know of. It opened up something in me that I didn't realize. I think it touched on my dignity. Yes. So I found that even 2 weeks after I was back in Nigeria, I found myself many times crying. Like, it got to me that much. So it got to a point where I just wanted to avoid anything that had to do with the case so that I could get some peace and kind of like move back to my life. However, I had a few friends blame me and say, look, if you want something in this country, you have to show them you want it. They said, did you DHL a handwritten letter to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Did you try to meet them up anywhere else? Did you fly to Abuja to go and try to have a meeting at their office, And they were like, if you do that, then it's impossible for them to pretend like they cannot hear you. And at that point, maybe something would have been done,
I hear why you need to. You just reach your topic now. Say you have to go and fight.
Service.
You have to go and fight.
Foreign Affairs is not a small ministry.
Exactly.
Neither do I think that they are so overworked that they will not. Their job is to represent Nigeria with foreign people.
Yeah.
And the strength of how effective they are in the diplomacy would show the number of borders that are being shut towards Nigerians.
Exactly.
We are not that much of a criminal. There are other countries where they have more criminal activities. Even when I was in Dubai. When I was in Dubai, in this Dubai that we're talking about, that Nigerians are not allowed to go to Dubai, there were other nationalities that they say were committing crime, were still allowed to go in.
Still allowed to come.
So we know Nigeria currently has a diplomacy problem, a PR problem, and there is nobody sitting to manage
But the presidency has been trying to, especially with the Dubai, they're trying to rebuild that relationship. I mean, so we know at a certain scale, things are being done, but I also hear you. We need to hear them at that lower scale, where every Nigerian feels
right
that
now. And Foreign Affairs Minister, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the only thing you see is pictures with different dignitaries. That's all.
Then when
they're not engaging the people to say, this is what
all.
happened. And I'm sorry that your story with Mrs. Abike Dabiri was not so great, but she's always engaging people. When things happen, she would respond. The ministry would respond. There must be that level of engagement. Like, I hear you.
So do you know what I'm curious about? What is it about our government, especially on the diplomacy angle, that makes us seem like we're always subservient to other countries? Like, even in negotiation, it's like, we need your help. We can't do without you. Like, what is it that is lacking for Nigeria as an image that makes us come, in conversations at that level?
First things first, I would say it seems like some people profit off this situation. And that's why it hasn't changed. Because that's the only thing that can immediately come to mind. Because if your office is to address certain issues like this, and it's not being addressed, what are you doing? What's your job there? Could there be a gain to you being quiet? Because it's difficult to understand why there will be quietness on this level. You know, like she said, it was, you can't send a message to Abike Dabiri on Instagram. So what I did, I started to leave comments on her page. She responded. I did the same approach with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I left a few messages in order not to be psychotic, maybe one or two. There was no response. I sent emails to the right email addresses, no response. SA's email address, no response. So at that level, what is a regular human being like me supposed to do?
Exactly.
You know, and this is me that I feel like, oh, I've been around a lot. I understand these things. I see how they happen. And they can do this
to you.
Exactly. How about for some other people that are first-timers? Right there, even at the airport, I met a lady from Rwanda. Her own was so sad. She was coming in the same airline to transit through the country, Istanbul, and then back to the UK. She was coming from, back to Rwanda. She was coming from UK, Istanbul, Rwanda. And then the airline had a delay. This very airline had a delay in London, which made them arrive late.
And miss the connection.
And miss the connection. And then she went to them, this is not my fault at all. It is your airline. They said, there's nothing we can do. We can give you a meal ticket.
Wow.
She was at the airport 24 hours. She had to get an airport hotel, like I did, to have a good night's sleep, for which she told me she paid 230 euros. Oh. Just to sleep for a problem that was not their fault. However, this same issue has happened to me on another airline. As soon as I was arriving, I said, it's not me, they didn't even let me talk. Can we have your boarding pass, please?
Yes.
They upgraded me immediately to business class.
They gave me
can we take you? Yes.
They gave me.
This one was only a 6-hour wait. They upgraded me, full of apologies, you know, gave me miles. In fact, I wasn't even angry again. I was because I went chilled out in the business class lounge. I ate to stupor, did everything I wanted to do, and then flew business class to London. So I wasn't paying. In fact, I loved them some more, despite that.
They managed it better.
They managed it well.
So I like what you just said, because the truth is that in some cases abroad, if things like this happen, people just choose to boycott. That certain airlines, we're just going to stop using them, because the truth is that sometimes government can't really do everything all the time. I agree, government has a place to play. I also agree that government must be more more proactive and be there for Nigerians. The people also, they have to take it, because this thing you're saying, I've heard it a lot of people. I know a lot of people that have happened to in different airlines.
They should ban the airline.
We should boycott them.
Certain airlines are doing
You know
this
how it is for
Nigerians
many
should
Nigerians, what are the options?
So
when you come from other countries, there are too many options. You'll be working hard, you know, with the competition.
Those countries can do shakara because they have local carriers.
Anyways,
we don't have a local carrier.
We're running out of time, and I have to just ask you some interesting questions. I know that it's not every day we have somebody who's traveled 70 countries. So in all the 70 countries, which one
is your favorite?
Your favorite, and which one would you recommend for people to go to really have a good vacation?
Okay, so I get this question a lot, and I find that it's a bit difficult to answer because it's so many of them. So there are some that I am partial to for certain reasons, you know, and then sometimes I feel like, yes, this is the best. Then I go somewhere else, and then that one is no longer the best. However, though, I'll break it down. Some of my favorite countries are still within Africa here. We have so much that we're not exploring and we're not selling enough. Seychelles, I almost had an out-of-body experience. That's how beautiful it is. I mean, you're seeing water so clear that you're standing on a bridge, but you can see fishes you know, from high up there. That's how clear the water is, pristine and just unreal. Now, I got the same feeling in Zanzibar as well. Zanzibar is so beautiful, but then maybe because it's not that difficult to go to, a lot of people don't really pride it. I see how we all line up at the US Embassy and the UK places and the Schengen places. Yes, But then, if what you're looking for is a vacation and you're looking for beauty, we have more than enough of it in Africa.
Amazing.
So Seychelles and Zanzibar, Tanzania now, they're top of my list of some of my favorite places
so
visited.
safe as well?
Yes, Zanzibar is very safe and the people very warm.
All right, that's all we can take. But thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for having me.
At some point. Okay, that's all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.